Next on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we are heading to Billings, Montana. That, along with Columbus, is where you're going to find the East Rosebud Fly and Tackle Shop. And we're talking to the owner, Rich Romersa. Rich, great to have you on the air.
Great to be here.
Let's go ahead and share a fishing report with our listeners. We're going to start with the big river that flows right past you, the Yellowstone. How's that been fishing as of late?
Well, we've had high flows throughout most of the late spring and early summer. So south of Livingston in Paradise Valley, that stretch of the fishery has been fishing really well for 3 weeks at least. Mostly golden stones. The salmon flies did show up and people did have some fun with the big bugs. Downstream from Livingston, that would mean obviously Livingston all the way to, let's say, Laurel, Montana, which is all of about 70 miles a stretch. Right now it's just coming into shape. So prime time is just beginning on that fishery, and that again is due to flows and frankly color.
When it comes to that stretch of the Yellowstone, are we mainly talking about rainbow trout here, and what kind of size?
No, you're talking about both rainbow and brown trout, and sizing can be typical trout streams in Montana, anywhere from 10 to 12 inches all the way up to sky's the limit with 2-footers.
Well, let's talk about a very well-known fishery in Montana that I think a lot of people go to when other rivers are high, Rock Creek near Red Lodge.
You know, Rock Creek continues to be high and borderline unwadeable. People are catching some fish on it, but you have to be careful. Most of the area freestone fisheries, including Rock Creek, have just been big because of our snowpack. So in the next 5 to 7, 10 days, we'll enter the prime time stage on that beautiful fishery as well.
And if people walked into your shop and said, what's the one fly I need for Rock Creek, what would you recommend?
I mean, I would recommend a streamer, but I have to admit, you know, right now it's big bugs, it's hoppers, and I would say for me, a pink pookie, although regionally we sell a shocking amount of chubby Chernobyls for just all freestone fisheries in July and August.
Gotcha. One last river I want to ask you about is one I'm not familiar with, the Stillwater River. You actually offer guided fishing on this river in addition to advice. Tell our listeners about this one.
Well, it's a beautiful freestone fishery. It's pretty much our area's Gallatin River. It has also been big this spring because of heavy snow, but it's sized up beautifully, and right now people are starting to venture on it on foot. The floating, the fishing from a raft over the last 3 to 4 weeks has actually been stupendous, and we're glad you don't know about it, so we would encourage people to stay away.
I love it. All right, folks. If you want to go fishing on the Stillwater, the Yellowstone, or Rock Creek, if you're smart, you'll stop in at East Rosebud Fly and Tackle. They've got locations at Billings and Columbus. They'll set you up with what you need. If you want a guided trip, they offer those too on both the Yellowstone River and that Stillwater River that they don't want you to know about. Rich, thanks for sharing this with us today on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thank you so much for calling.